Hi, Priyanka. How are
Hi.
you? Good to see
Hi.
you.
I'm good. Good to see you guys.
Hi,
Good evening.
Gaurav.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Hi,
So many
Priyanka.
friends are coming
Hi.
in. So many friends are coming in. Prakash Lala, Pari Khan. Hi, Salil. Hi, Arif. Basant Gogay ji, Priya Sudan. Deepthi, the Wanderers. Harpreet. So many friends are. Just wait for a few more seconds. The people are joining in.
Yeah.
Good evening, Nitish ji. Namaskar, Deepthi ji. Good evening. Hi, Judy. Judy's from UK and she's also joined in.
It must be afternoon there, is it?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, yeah.
So it's afternoon for you.
It's 12:30 in UK.
All right.
Good evening, Mr. Bob. Good evening. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for this webinar with Priyanka from Planeterra. Mr. Mohit Aggarwal is not here, unfortunately, for this webinar. He's traveling in South India with the limited internet access. So, allow me to introduce myself first and Asian Adventures. I'm Iqbal Ahmed, a proud member of Asian Adventures family from last 22 years. Asia Adventures is a 27 years old travel company. It is the largest and number one birdwatching tour company in India. The company is on a large mission to help Asian elephant with their corridors, free the Himalayas of plastic waste, and help small wildlife NGOs and save the ancient Himalayan shrines. Our interest is to promote ecotourism in the real sense and convert every tourist into an ecotourist. So, Gaurav, can you please introduce Priyanka?
Sure. Good evening, everyone. Please allow me to introduce our guest. Priyanka is an avid traveler and a passionate development worker with Planeterra. So, Planeterra has provided her with the perfect synergy to continue doing what she loves while spreading the benefits of tourism. She's had almost 15 years of experience working with local communities and a master's degree in conflict analysis and peace building. And she's worked across various remote locations across India, Cambodia, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. So during this time, she's seen the kindness and has had a desire to provide a healthy life for all these communities and the families that connect them. As the community development specialist for South Asia for Planeterra, Priyanka works closely with many of the local partners. And in her free time, she likes to make travel plans. That is, if she's not already traveling. And she spends most of her days keeping up with the theatrics of her toddler and her furry dog.
Thanks for that introduction, Gaurav.
Thank. So let me just say a few lines about Planeterra as well. Planeterra is the world's leading NGO which turns travel into impact for local communities. They have a market-driven, traveler-centric model, and its effects ensure that more money stays in the hands of local community, and basically that there's less economic leakage. To put simply, they try to make tourism better by improving the lives of community members, as well as providing responsible travelers with more authentic and better experiences.
Thanks, Gaurav. Thanks.
Thanks. You're on mute, one. So Priyanka, I think over to you.
Okay. Should I just click on that? Is someone else going to just start this slide for me?
Sure.
Grappling the technology over here.
Yes, Priyanka.
Is this the, I think the presentation is the wrong one. Sorry, but it's the AEN network. Yeah. I think we need to get the other presentation on. Okay.
Sorry, Priyanka, for the pressing wrong button. Sorry.
No problem. I think everyone can see my screen, right? If I can get a thumbs up or something to know if you guys can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, great. Thanks for the introduction, Gaurav, and thanks for the nice introduction to Planeterra. So today I'm here and I'm really thankful to Asian Adventures for giving this opportunity to talk about my work at Planeterra, which is something we really love to do. It's something we're really passionate about as a whole entire team at Planeterra. So it's a great opportunity over here to share about our work today through through Asian Adventures hosting this webinar. So I'm Priyanka, and I'm going to talk about uplifting communities through tourism. And as Gaurav already mentioned, I'll just bore you by just talking a little about myself a little. So I'm the community development specialist for South and Central Asia for Planeterra Foundation. I'm based out of India. And like in my intro, I'm fond of traveling. We travel solo, we travel as a family, traveling friends. So this actually photograph is, it's a favorite with my colleagues at Planeterra. So that's why it's here. It's not something which is my favorite, but it's again from one of my travels with our toddler. I have a 3.5-year-old daughter, and she loves to see snow. So we had to make this trip actually just to get her to see some snow. So we were up in the Himalayas trying to go look for some snow for my daughter. So that's just a little about me. And I've been with Planeterra for almost 2.5 years now, and happy to be here today. So who is Planeterra? If some of you may have heard of us and would be curious today to know more about Planeterra. So Planeterra is a Canadian non-profit and a US charity founded in 2003 by Bruce Punte. We have 13 plus years in community tourism enterprise development. That's the experience we have together in Planeterra, with 100% business success rate. So which is something we really take pride in saying, and which is something I will be sharing with you as we go down in the slides, what we mean by 100% business rates and what are the great work that we are doing through the communities. And just to give a brief context, when we say 100% business success rate, we mean none of the communities, none of our partners that we work with or are working with have failed, have dropped out, have lost interest, or have run into losses and had to stop the initiative at some point. So that's what we mean, and you will learn more about such initiatives. So we are impact-driven organization with a mission to uplift lives through tourism. We have staff across 6 countries with a combined 120 plus years experience. We have a success of Project 100 alongside G Adventures, our corporate partner. And Project 100 gave us the space to go out and work with communities, and that is what is still successful even during the pandemic, how we've managed to pull along, stay along. And I will share that story as we move along. I don't want to give it out everything on the first slide, but the success of it, of Project 100, and how we've pivoted during the pandemic is what I would be sharing more about today. Just a little, just before we get started, how do we like to define community tourism at Planeterra? It's travel experiences owned, led, and run by communities, non-profits, cooperatives, social enterprises. At its very best, it breaks down barriers to engage undeserved communities in meaningful and life-changing ways. So just as we move forward, just to put a little context to when I will be using the term community tourism, this is what I mean. I don't know if you can hear in my background. So in India, we are close to Diwali, a festival of lights. So there might be little thuds in the middle. I don't know. I hope you can't hear it. Or if you can, so don't worry. It's just pre-Diwali celebration already in India. So this is Planeterra pre-COVID. As I said, we have 100 community tourism experiences in 56 countries. So this was a pre-COVID time that I'm talking about on this slide. With a 100% success rate, they are still operational till date. In fact, in most of the parts of the world, travel's opened up, everyone's gearing up. Some of them have started receiving travelers. That is the amount of money which has been spent in communities from 2015 to 2019 through the travelers visiting our community partners. And those are the number of travelers we have been hosted by our partners. So these are the pre-COVID kind of statistics, just to put it in the context. And our model is it's something like which we like to always share and talk about, and it's been a successful model with 100 communities, and we've built on it. So which is, we like to identify communities, provide trainings and grants. So quite often our local partners, community partners, some local NGOs or youth group, women group have reached out to us, or some of our corporate partner were there in the field. They come back, hey, there's this community, or the team has done best research, and that's why we kind of identify communities, and then we go visit the communities, and then we go in and provide training and grants. And some cases we've given catalyst grants in the past before the pandemic hit us. So where we've ended up giving catalyst grants, some kitchen needed to be revamped, some toilet needed to be constructed. So those are the kind of things where we've gone in and given a catalyst grant and provided the training in hospitality. And because quite often it's the first time that these communities were even welcoming travelers and foreign travelers, so to say. And what we felt, and like I said, like I mentioned, the 100% success rate in the beginning. So we feel one of the main reasons is the fact that we connect them to the market. The communities are connected to the market. So where there's a connect with the market, making it more sustainable, long-term, and communities tend to benefit. Communities are owning it, and there is continued traffic coming to them, travelers coming to them through that kind of a model, and mentoring through the network. This is something we have done in the past, before COVID, where like we said, we have staff across countries. So we are constantly mentoring our partners, our local communities. So during the pandemic, what we did is we developed an online resource hub where we have put all of these learning materials available online for communities who are for NGOs, community enterprises, social enterprises, women-led groups, youth groups who are working in the space of community-based tourism and would like to access such resources. So there are modules which are online. We've got a whole group going, so I will be talking about that. So mentoring through network is something that we introduced during the pandemic, because in the past we were mentoring 100 partners, but we realized there was scope to do it online. During the pandemic, we had to shift, pivot, trying to find ways to connect with communities. So that was just a little about our model. This photograph is from one of our really dear projects in Kandy in Sri Lanka. I don't know how many of you have traveled to Sri Lanka, but it's definitely one of my favorite destinations, and I love the food there, and great options for vegans. So if anyone with dietary restrictions, I mean, the food is amazing. So this is one of our partners, three, a craft shop and a cafe. So when Planeterra, we went in here, they had a craft shop, and unfortunately, it wasn't so successful. They were running into a kind of a loss. So it was the dream to start a kitchen. So that's where Planeterra moved in, and we provided them with a catalyst grant to kind of develop that infrastructure to set up a kitchen and provide the little training in hospitality. So what happened is, as a result of that, the cash flow increased in the, not just in the cafe but even the craft shop. As travelers started coming in, the partnership increased cash flow for the social enterprise. And in the first year alone, it was able to expand and cover over 400% of it in its first year. With the losses which were there, it was able to cover all of that, and it was able to support its network of artisans that they did through their NGO WDC in Sri Lanka. So the craft shop actually provides a platform for women to gain financial sustainability. So the cafe and craft shop kind of helps with that. So it was something which was a great enterprise, but somehow there was something lacking and there was something missing. But with the support that the Sri got from Planeterra, they were able to train themselves. So something as simple as what made this so special, why handicraft over here made this so special. So there was a whole thing of storytelling. So that had been missing in the past, where probably in the shop they were not telling the story too well, and they were missing out on a few things on how to share your story. So we had all those expertise and training, the Planeterra staff. Like, it becomes very important, like you share, like the craft work, handicraft coming into your shop is actually from the NGO, which is working with women who are survivors of abuse. And so it was very important to share that story, what made these handicrafts so special if you pick them up from here rather than anywhere else in Sri Lanka. So when these stories were shared, and people came into the cafe to eat the excellent food. So some of the women got trained as, waitresses. Some of them have become chefs, and even for their craft shop, they trained differently abled youth to become and manage the shop. So it was, the whole experience became so enriching for the traveler. It became so special for anybody who walks into this three craft shop and cafe. So in the past, they said there was the whole miss, because there was storytelling was not happening. The travelers were not aware about the whole story behind who was making the handicraft. So when Planeterra went in, not only did we help with the catalyst grant to set up the kitchen for them to run the cafe, but the whole thing of understanding on how to develop your successful business enterprise, a successful model, how does that work? And also, like, because we're talking about Sri, I even like to share, since we're saying that, I did mention that we have been working with our partners through the pandemic. So in fact, Sri was one such partner where in June 2020, Planeterra was granted a fund from the CFLI, which is the Canadian Fund for Local Initiatives. So we were awarded this grant, which was for Sri to focus on a project which was to focus on the domestic market, right? Because up until now, what they were looking at was an international traveler. What an international traveler would buy. What would the need be of an international market? So this project helped understand the domestic market. The handicraft change, the traveler change. What kind of a handicraft would that traveler be wanting? So we feel very proud to say this, because this was during the pandemic that we successfully managed to run this program. You can read more about this on our blog, in fact. And we helped equip 110 women entrepreneurs and 23 employees of WDC in Sri Lanka. So it's been a great one for us during the pandemic, where it's improved their handicrafts, their skills. There were workshops that they were conducted, understanding how to manage your business at times like this, business planning, costing, the smallest of techniques, how to link yourself to the market channels, how to track the current trends. So, there are all of these expertise which, as being attached with Planeterra Foundation, they were able to benefit. So this is just one such example of one of our success stories from the many. The other one is this another unique one, which I love to share, which is the city walk experience in Delhi, in India. I mean, when I was on a call the other day, there were a lot of people I was talking to in Australia, and they were telling me how they had traveled to India like 9 times, and they were waiting for travel to open up, and they were like, "We would be happy to come to India even right now if travel opens up." So I hope, like, if some of you are based in the UK and other places. I don't know if you've traveled to India and if you'd like to come visit us soon. So this is a great one in Delhi if you ever happen to be here. So this is actually a youth-led program. So over here, this is by Salam Balak Trust, NGO in India. And what happens is this is a city walk program, a youth-led walking tour that provides a different, unique experience to travelers. So, where the youth is doing this walk around Old Delhi. So, when Planeterra has moved in and made them, the Salam Balak Trust was already taking care of the youth who are unfortunately survivors of trafficking, and they've been rescued from the streets. So they are with Salam Balak Trust, and they at Planeterra and G Adventures, our corporate partners, we kind of introduced them to the whole tourism enterprise, the whole tourism market. So where instead of somebody or anybody could be doing this walk in Old Delhi, we have these youth who at some point, unfortunately, were living on these same streets, who conduct these walks. And through this program, we've been able to train around 33 youth. So it's an amazing, again, a great one for us, because we have girls, we not just boys, we have girls also who are part of these programs. And 18 of the former guides have studied and they've gone on scholarships. They've like gone to the US and universities in the US, universities in India, and some of them are entrepreneurs now. Some of them are interning with the Indian Parliament, and some of them have even joined travel companies. So it's a great one, because what these youth have shared with us, our City Walk guides, is that this is what they said themselves. I'm not saying it, is what they said it through the walking tour, the City Walk program. They say that they gained a lot of experience and exposure and a lot of confidence. So this is something they felt that the program gave them a lot of confidence, and suddenly there's a whole reduced sense of self-worth. So not just the economics of it, but it's helped build their and boost their confidence, which is a great way to go. And they have also shared that it helped improve their English skills. So a lot of them have shared with me and our team at Planeterra, and they've said like, "Hey, ma'am, initially we were so, like used to feel scared, but we always wanted to learn this language. Now we're so confident. We can talk to any stranger, anyone, be it in English. We don't hesitate." And you can see in the image, you can see how confident that boy is right there. So all of them are these success stories we have, and we are so proud of our children over there, the youth at the City Walk at Salam Balak Trust. So it's a great one for us, because again, it's helped them develop their personality, and it's helped them, have a sense of self-worth and self-purpose. And they've gone on to complete their university degrees, gone into jobs, and so many of them right now, even Annie and Dave, so many of them tell us, "I want to be a air hostess." Someone wants to join the travel company, join the travel trade. So it's a great one. So this is another youth-led program that Planeterra has been supporting, where we've trained these youth, their work as guides, and there's a whole sense of self-worth, which we feel is the most important thing that anything can do to somebody, apart from the economics of it. This is another special one, Baroli Community Homestay, which is in Chitwan in Nepal, by our partners Community Homestay Network. And it's another beautiful one, because these homestays rather, I should say, are led by women. And currently, as I speak, there are 44 people earning an income, 1,000 community members benefiting. And this homestay project is completely run by Tharu women, that's the indigenous community. And it's helped provide so many diversified income opportunities in the region. Several different activities have started as a result of this intervention, where we went in, not just the homestay program ensured that there are so many opportunities which have arisen, which is waitresses, cooks, cooking class holds, local guides, and the indirect impact is what really counts at the end of the day. So there's a whole larger community which is benefiting as a result of that. There are new homestays which have come up, because it's very close to the Chitwan National Park, if some of you have visited Nepal, you would be acquainted with the geography of that. And the community saves a portion of the tourism profits to be reintroduced into community development funds. So that's what makes all our projects really special. And when I say sustainable, long term, because it goes back to the community. And like I said, the indirect beneficiaries, not just the 24 people, how it goes and reaches thousands of community members is this, because in 2019, in fact, these funds, the community development fund, were used to in environmental projects and scholarship for students and improving the lives of students. So like we said, like in Planeterra, we feel uplifting communities. So when the basic needs are met of families, of parents, where they're employed, they're able to earn the income, what happens is the indirect impact of it. Like our Asian Adventures was talking about conservation and environment. So when families have the basic income taken care of, they are able to reinvest the money, the energies into environmental friendly projects, into education of the children, into education of the youth. So many times in so many countries, because Planeterra I am based in South Asia, but it's globally across the country, it happens they're first generation learners where children have started going into school. So the impact of tourism, I mean, it's much more than just you might feel, okay, I'm just staying this one homestay, or I'm just helping these two families. No, the impact is larger. Communities have understood the importance of things like sanitation, what are the good environment practices. Quite often we already had those practices in the past, but we may have forgotten about those age-old practices, and how to reconnect with nature, with your environment. So all of our partners are really, really conscious of it. It's part of their living. It's part of who they are. The usage of plastic is something which is reduced. Organic farming is something all of our partners practice. So this is something we try and do it across our projects in Planeterra. Like we have another one, I'll talk about that, in Kerala. And it's great because over there we gave a meal experience to our travelers, and they serve food on leaves. So like in India, in our traditional homes, many of us ate like that, and I remember eating that as a child. It was a great thrill. You sat on the floor, you ate on those leaves. So even in North India you did it, in South India there was a practice. So when we went in, this community of women were like, hey ma'am, but travelers might be like, oh my god, why are we eating off a leaf? I was like, no, it's an environment friendly practice. It's biodegradable. We're not going to be using any plastic. It's great. If you want to do that, we must do that. So these are the kind of experiences, and why we feel how travel can be impactful. How can travel make things sustainable? It's like when you promote community-based tourism, when you go reach out to such communities. So there are these practices which are there, and if we go and we kind of appreciate that, the communities feel motivated. There is a whole sense of, hey, great, this is what we were doing in the past, and it's still looked at as something cool, because there's this whole thing of not looking at certain of our age-old practices, because we think like this is not cool, or people don't want to do that. But these are environment friendly practices which we encourage our travelers to do. So this is some of our examples from the field. And the other one is another one from Kathmandu in Nepal. This is another great experience. So in Planeterra, through our work, we try and look at whether it's a meal experience, whether it's a transportation, it's a youth run, youth driven. So there are these different components we try and address. So this one is also a very special one. It's Sisterhood of Survivors Sos, and this is run by, it's a meal experience run by survivors of trafficking, and we all are aware of this problem. And it's a great one of reintegrating these survivors into a sense of normalcy, to where they have again sense of self-respect and self-esteem. So when we went in there, in this again Planeterra, and a corporate partner went in there, and we kind of helped them set up the basic infrastructure, the kitchen, and get a little experience in hospitality. And what they do is, as you can see in the photograph, is the yummy dumpling making. So there's a whole experience where travelers get to make these dumplings with these sisters. So the sisters, the Bainis, as we say in Nepalese, make these momo. The dumpling making demonstration happens with them, and after which the traveler eats a traditional Nepali thali. So it is such a unique way of preserving culture. So through our work at Planeterra, so it goes beyond, right? What I mean, it's a great way. It's just not that they're making dumpling or you're just eating the food. It is so special. Like the ladies they've got a whole sense of self-worth. They have renewed sense of self-confidence. So many of them were not taken back into their families, and they found an alternative source of income. And when at the end you sit down with them and have that thali, it's amazing because it's their meal, what they eat, the stories, the food. So it's a great way of preserving culture just through a meal experience. It's a great way of boosting someone's sense of self-worth and confidence, because you're sitting and talking to them who at some point are at the fringes of society, have been ostracized by society because of unfortunate circumstances that they fell into. So again through our Planeterra's work, we try and have this impact where travelers can feel that they have done something more than just visiting a place. They take back memories. They make these, forge these memories. They take back this relationship, which is special, which means so much to them, even when they go back. In fact, it's a great one. Again, since they're up on my screen, I'll share about them. They've even gone on to making online classes on dumpling making. So this is something they pivoted during the pandemic. In fact, Planeterra team we were the dummies. We did some trial classes with them because they wanted to kind of develop an online experience. So like I said, like Planeterra has been with our partners through the pandemic. It's at no point we said, hey, we've forgotten you because there's a pandemic. That doesn't happen with us. So we were actually there with them, doing these demonstrations which they wanted to try out. So our team I was in India, and my colleagues in Canada, in Toronto, they took out time and we did these classes, and today they're successfully hosting these online dumpling making and Nepali food online classes. So guys, you guys should check them out. Sisterhood of Survivors, they're doing a great job. This one, I'll say everyone, when I come to the slide, I think I must be saying this one's a special one. So this one, but what to do, each one is so special. So this is Women with Wheels, one of our oldest partners that we worked with at Planeterra Foundation. It's a great one because this one is another one where we are really like breaking down barriers. It provides livelihood for women where women have not been accepted in the past. These are women chauffeur drivers, something who all of us who are in South Asia especially are quite aware of. How driving is looked upon as something which men do. It's women, even if they're driving, at first people are skeptical. Can she drive? Isko aata hai? Will she be able to park? Can she park? So that kind of a thing. So this is another one where they're kind of breaking those barriers. So through this, we work with our partner, Azad Foundation, who have provided training to over 500 when they started out, it was with 500 training of 500 women driving. So when I say it's not just driving, they know how to even fix their wheels, they know how to check the engine and how to do the works. It's not just driving. And 1,000 women drivers are benefiting from this, and they have successfully become women chauffeur drivers. And Saka Foundation, in fact, is the social enterprise that actually supports and employs 46 of these women chauffeurs. Rest of them, I'm really proud to say, have been successfully placed with the embassies and other organizations. And in fact, another proud moment I'd like to say, like at Planeterra, we were very happy to help them with a grant to increase their fleet of vehicles when they started out. And our corporate partner G Adventures was the first tour operator, in fact, in the country to contract with Women with Wheels and to take them as a pickup partner. So any traveler coming into Delhi was received by these ladies. So it's a great one. Why? Because like I said, it's a barrier. Ladkiyon ko chalana nahi aata. Ladies cannot drive a car well. So this is a great one for me, again, personally, because I can totally relate to it. So, and the stories are amazing because these women drivers, like you can see, I think one of them is on the screen, also Geeta. So it's amazing because they are coming from underprivileged backgrounds. They had to have five barriers. At some point, some of them wanted to get this training, but the families were not supportive, and they have taken the training. And once they started earning, they got employed as chauffeurs. They told their families, and then there was acceptability because of the economics of it. They started earning money, and in some, they have convinced the families and managed to take the training at Azad Foundation. So today the ladies tell us. So when I meet the ladies, they share their stories like, "Ma'am, I had only started at 12th grade, and I wanted to pursue my education, but there was no way. I got married off." And one of them, she has two daughters now, and she completed her education. Once she became a cab driver, and now she uh, felt that was so important for her to complete her education and get her daughters educated. So that kind of a thing where they feeling empowered. And there was another case where someone faced violence and abuse in the marriage, but could not get out of it because she was economically dependent on the person. But once she got this job, she was a driver, she was able to go out, walk out, and take charge of her life, take care of her kids without having to face that abuse and violence. So these are like stories which are like hair raising stories, which I get to hear whenever I meet these ladies who are like such superheroes, I like to call them. And one such experience is where one of these ladies did a pickup for one of the travelers and was getting them dropped to a hotel. And when she dropped them to the hotel, what happened is, the traveler got off, they went in, and when she was exiting, yeah, so the guard actually came up to her and like asked her, "Hey, can I talk to you?" So she's like, "Yeah, sure." So he's like, "Today I feel so happy and honored to meet a lady woman driver, because I have two daughters, and up until now, I always thought they were a liability. But after meeting you today, I am like, I'm going to train one of my daughters to be a driver." So, moments like these, stories like these, the impact that is having, which is way larger. Communities are getting impacted, society is having a impact. So the economics of it is great. They're getting economically empowered, the money's coming in, but look at the change if one driver could bring to the psyche of that one person. So it's amazing, because even when I'm driving on the road, I know the looks I'm getting to assume that the next person has to help me with my parking, whereas the man next to me might be the one who actually needs help with the parking. So at Planeterra, we're really happy to be able to support such great social enterprises, organization, such great women who are working, who are like breaking stereotypes every which way. And we take great pride to be associated with these women, be it Geeta from Women with Wheels, be it Annie from City Walks in Salamba, Electras, or Raj. So it's like everyone is special. Each one has so much they have given to this. And so the traveler coming to any of our experiences, we feel, takes back much more than just seeing a place or just meeting. These are real stories, real people they meet. And the barriers and stereotypes sometimes are both ways. Sometimes when travelers get into the cab at midnight or past midnight, they have actually told these ladies, "Hey, you're a woman and you're driving in India. We didn't expect to get you guys to do a pickup for us. Oh, this is great." And then these ladies share these stories and they feel so proud about it. And they say, "Ma'am, hame unhone aise bola, inko aise laga." They were so happy to meet us, and they were so surprised to see a lady cab driver. And in fact, Women with Wheels is currently not just in Delhi. They have really spread across India. They're in Jaipur, they're in Kolkata, Indore. So if any of you guys are ever, you must definitely take their services. And like I said, like, impact is larger, not limited to one person, one community, or one woman, one house. If it's a homestay, what we like to call it at Planeterra is the ripple effect. We feel the each community where we get in, every community where we are working with, the impact does not limit itself to just one home or one community. So by supporting these community enterprises around the world, Planeterra ensures that the tourism dollar remains with the local communities. It stays in the hand of the local communities. As a result, there are more economic opportunities that are created. Places get protected, like I was mentioning earlier. We really focus on environmental protection, on environmental eco-friendly practices through our enterprises, through all our enterprises, and culture is celebrated through travel. So be it a meal experience. So if there is one woman in supposing we had one woman when we started out with community homestay network in Nepal, in Panoti. Today there's a whole series of homestays. We started out with one. Today there's a whole network of homestays. So impact is greater. The community sources their food from the organically grown gardens in the village, from the community. The artisans, the local handicrafts being made in the community get a boost quite often. So the impact does not stay there. The community development fund, as I mentioned in the beginning, a portion what they earn from the tourism enterprise being a part of Planeterra Foundation goes into that, which is given and put back into the community, be it a sanitation project, be it a scholarship fee, be it paying a teacher's salary, be it any project that the community wishes to learn. So it does not just remain to one person. So like women's empowerment is the first one that I have up on my slide. So women empowerment leading to participation of women in social enterprises. It helps them to build their self-esteem and self-confidence. It gives them a chance to take up leadership roles. So quite often where these women were not part of the what should I say, in the market or working or earning, or not the real decision making in the families, when they have got a chance, when they've come up into Planeterra and got trained into a particular social enterprise, be it a cooking experience, be it a guide experience, be it a homestay host. So the training gives a self-esteem, and suddenly there's a leadership role where they're into decision making, where they're handling things upfront themselves without depending on anybody. So it's a great sense of self-esteem. Community development, like I said, the impact is larger. The community development fund is used to go and use it in the community where the need is felt, right? So it helps to develop the community. It helps in many cases. It's kind of helped in reducing urban migration, because quite often what was happening is because of lack of opportunities, of job opportunities in the communities, in the villages, the youth is moving out and losing touch with their old practices, with their culture, with their heritage. So this kind of has helped sustain that thing. Like I was saying in the beginning, like so many, because there's so many of our partners have said, like the one in Kerala I was talking about, and she said like before travelers started coming in for this meal experience, the youth thought this was not cool, eating off a leaf and singing these songs. They would sing this harvest song for travelers. Travelers really appreciated, and they would dress up in their traditional Kerala saris, these beautiful white and golden saris. If some of you have gone to the backwaters in India, you would have noticed that. So there's a whole renewed sense of admiring your culture, because when travelers start coming, you start looking at the renewed eyes, a new spectrum. So kind of a shift in perspective. So it's great for that. And also something like how you welcome the guests. So we have a traditional welcome across South Asia. So everyone has a different one. So in Kerala, partners wanted to use the scarf that they give. So we're like, go ahead, of course. When you go to Nepal, you have a kata, you have you give that. In Buddhist, lot of Buddhist communities, you welcome your guests with a kata, because when you're welcoming a guest, we treat guests as God in South Asia. So so that kind of a thing. So these are like real things where it's helping preserving culture through the communities. And like I said, in environmental practices, environmental protection is part of everything. And when travelers want to see the best of a region, so it's great because the capacity building training that we provide, it helps them to practice these eco-friendly techniques. Is towards themselves towards protection of natural resources. There's a sense of whole you not wasting resources, being mindful of your certain practices. So this becomes a part of all the Planeterra communities and all our ventures across the globe. And we also do have very specific projects which is working on like reef ecology in Australia. We have something on reef ecology. We have a plastic pickup, a trash cleaning of the beaches in Maldives. So these are some very specific ones. You can look at our website to understand some more of these specific ones. But almost all of our projects kind of practice environment friendly practices. Increased capacity is Like I said, women get trained in hospitality. Some of them are there for the first time. Some of them have never been part of this network. I mean, not network, and I mean, we've not been part of the whole tourism hospitality sector. So they all have this increased capacity. They are suddenly in the leadership kind of a position where they're able to make decisions. So it's a great one through our work. So just a few figures now after all the storytelling. So 50 million travelers experiencing community tourism, and $1 billion worth of income reaching communities through our travelers, and 3.5 million lives have been improved through these social enterprises, through Planeterra's community networks, these enterprises, because travelers are visiting here, travelers are going in there. Just quickly, and run you through our global community tourism network. Like I said, this is something we pivoted during the pandemic, something we worked on. So this is available, in fact, to everybody who is working in the space of community tourism enterprise. In fact, feel free to connect with us at Planeterra if you have any questions about this and how can you join. Because like I said, before the pandemic, we were looking at 100 communities and we were mentoring them. This is an online platform, and I'll just share about it. They have 3 pillars we have in this. One is a learning and training place, the Learning Hub, which has modules in 30 plus themes. So there are 30 plus thematic areas. There are downloadable Excel sheets, worksheets, be it business planning, income diversification, how to cost your handicraft, how thick should a mattress be. One of my colleagues shared that with me, that those are kind of questions you get, and those are kind of questions we've put in there. The FAQs, Planeterra team has made a lot of effort to make these videos and on body language, storytelling, how to run a successful business, how to manage a team, how to market yourself, social media marketing, media management. So all of this is there. Currently, the Learning Hub is Planeterra's Learning Hub is available in English and Spanish. So please feel free to reach out to us, connect. You can go to our website. You can look at the criteria, and if you fit in, you're welcome to apply. And we have an online community, which is an exclusive Facebook group just for our lot of. Just for our communities who are part of the network. So once you're on the network, you get access to Learning Hub material, which are these modules, as I said. Secondly, the Facebook group, which is wherein we post about each other, because we felt there was what was lacking was peer-to-peer interaction, peer-to-peer knowledge sharing. So this is the kind of platform we kind of have created. So all our partners are here on the Facebook group, and if there's a webinar, any training happening, we kind of post it there. Any opportunities coming up, any grant opportunities, we kind of share it with our partners over here. And also because during the pandemic, we felt people were feeling isolated. There was a lot of sharing we felt would have helped each other. So we created this. If someone had a great experience of growing fruits or organic kitchen garden in Panoti in Nepal, or in Kerala, somewhere close to Alleppey, so they could share with each other, which could inspire someone in Africa. If there was some great experience in Africa, which could inspire someone in India, there was something great happening in the hills of, let's say, Himachal or Uttarakhand, so someone would want to replicate that. So we felt there was a lack of this. So this online community provides that. Marketing and promotions through online and social media, kind of a marketing channels that we have, and our partners get a social tag, social media tag, be it on Instagram, Facebook is part of it. We are happy to carry the logos and talk about them, and always to give a shout out to the great work our communities are doing. You can even look at our Instagram handle Planeterra Cares to see the great work our partners are doing and the great work they're kind of doing. So this is the state of our network. So like I said, pre-COVID, we were 100 communities. During the COVID, after the launch of a global community network, the tourism network, this is the number of community enterprises we have managed to reach: 294 community tourism enterprises in 71 communities. So which has been phenomenal, thanks to the great team we have at Planeterra, thanks to the great communities which are there in Planeterra. So just all that we learned from our 100 communities in the past, we've put it up in this network, and we've reached out to 294 more to community tourism enterprises, and we have great partnerships in the region coming up thanks to this. This is just to give you a a really quick overview and a glance at strategic partners. We have a lot of them across from the globe. We have Gertuga in Mongolia. We have our Asian adventures right here. So there are all of our travel partner community homestay network in Nepal, some of our old partners which are there in the child safe movement. So we've been really lucky during the pandemic to pivot and to look at how to reach out to more communities, reach out to more organizations such as Asian Adventures, who are huge into conservation and who are working with communities, and how best can we impact communities. So we would love to work with more communities like this. And during this is something I'll just not take too much time, but almost done. So COVID assistance. So this is something we've reached out to. Planeterra's team launched the Turn Travel into Impact from Home campaign in 2020 to raise funds for the emergency and assistance for our partners. We all know we were hit quite badly with COVID. More than 30 partners have received funds. Funds have helped with everything from emergency food and medicine to sustainability programs and revenue generation programs like gardens. So it's been amazing. Our partners have been really thankful and grateful, not just for the resources and online thing, but we have been constantly mentoring them. There have been emergency grants that we could give out to them. And this is just a quote to kind of end it with. One of our partners who has accessed the global community tourism network that I talked about, where we have modules present there, has said that having this is their experience after having access to those resources. I feel more confident knowing that I have access to these resources, other communities, and the Planeterra team. So the learning material available, the community, the peer-to-peer sharing through the community, the Facebook group, and the Planeterra team. So this is what our partners have felt. Nobody has felt isolated. The new ones who have joined have really acknowledged the fact that they have access to the resources, access to the learning materials. So feel free to look at our website and connect with us if you have any questions. This is a great one, and thank you so much, Asian Adventures, for kind of doing this, because I think it is really important to share, like, we talk about sustainable travel and how communities have coped, because it was a good one to share through Planeterra's experience, how we've kind of pivoted during the pandemic. We've set up a network of online resources, and that's why we've connected with Asian Adventures, who's a strategic partner now, and we hope to reach out to more communities. We want to go wider. We want to reach out to more communities, creating greater impact globally. And anyone working the community tourism enterprise space is welcome to join the network and be a part of this growing community. We'd love to have you. So I think I've done a lot of talking, and over to Iqbal and his team, Gaurav, if you guys want to share anything, or if there are any questions, if there are any pressing questions or anything like that.
So right now I can just see one question. So it's, do you have any possibilities to train leaders from the community that leads the project?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Is there anything more to the question, Gaurav?
Yeah, so I face challenges with leadership in the community, which can drive the project to the next level. So that's on it.
Right. So that's what, like I shared, like if you're a social enterprise, if you're an NGO, you look at our website and see if you can fit in the criteria of the Global Tourism Network. Feel free to join it, because we actually have a module on managing team, leading a team. So we have those modules, because as you said, it's very important to train your team before you go out to the communities and kind of building that up. So we have resources on that. We have them available online. So if you join the network, you will be able to access it, and you can always take it back to the community, take it back to your team, take it back to the facilitators or the field coordinators. Sometimes is, I think, what you are hoping to talking about training is probably the field coordinators and people who are directly working with communities. So because that's the main one. You need to train your the leaders, and then you go back into the communities. You might have a field facilitator or somebody who is leading the show who needs to be trained. So those materials are there. There is on team management. In fact, there's a whole section on that. There's on leadership skills, managing teams. So not just on financial management, but even human resource management is really important. And we do have modules on that on the network. So feel free to look at our website and read about the network, and you can connect with us if you have any questions. We'll be happy to help. Yeah.
Anyone else have any questions? I can't see any more in the chat.
So Priyanka, if any of from our audience wants to get associated with Planeterra, what is the process? And if any of them wants to donate something to Planeterra, what is the procedure? If you could just
Right, right. So for that, what you could do is you can, if you want to access the resources on how to develop a community enterprise, how to strengthen your existing products. So to say, if you have a let's say a homestay experience, just as one example, or you have a guiding experience. So what you can do is you can join the Global Community Tourism Network. There is a link to that on the Planeterra Foundation uh, website, and you can get access to those resources. And other than that, if you want to support communities, you can reach out to us. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to our team at info@Planeterra. We have our corporate partners, as in we have Asian Adventures, and there are lots of other ways you can support us. So you can always reach out to us, because depending on how is it that you would like to support and what is the kind of association you're looking for, you can even reach out to me, and I can take it from there and connect you to the team member who would best be able to guide you. And if you want to access the resources, you can feel free to join the network. It is free of cost. Yeah, I didn't mention that one. I think it's free of cost. So you guys, whoever wants to, you want to upgrade your team. I can see Ayusha from Community Homestay Network, really old partner. Ayusha, so nice. Yes, we are so happy to work with them. So what happens is, if you join the network, not just that you get access to modules, but you get access to partners like Asian Adventures. You get access to someone like Community Homestay Network in Nepal, who are really successfully running homestay experiences. So if someone wants to set up a homestay experience, you want to improve a homestay experience, we have somebody. We do webinars, we do these very informal chat sessions also with all our network partners. So it's a great one. If anyone wants to join the Community Tourism Network, I would really encourage you. If you want to make any donations or get in touch with us, feel free to write to us at info@Planeterra, or you could connect with me. I'll be happy to lead you forward with any of that. So yeah, that's kind of how it is.
what a great presentation, Priyanka, and what a great work you've been doing with the
Thank
team.
you so much. And I would not take the credit. It's thanks to our really fantastic communication teams, Alana and everyone at Planeterra, who's really out there, and we are really supportive and helped me with the presentation. I would like to say that. So yeah.
So actually, I just wanted to add two things that I found really beautiful about Planeterra's work. So one was the fact that we have so many tour operators and tourism operators who are scratching their heads about how to make travel more sustainable, and looking at a lot of the things that Planeterra has done. It's something as simple as just going back to your roots.
Exactly, right? It's as simple as that sometimes. It's as simple
so
as
that
that.
was one thing, and the second one was, I mean, the way sustainable tourism, like you said, ripple effect. It doesn't just benefit the traveler and the person who is immediately involved, but also the community. So whether it's breaking down barriers or stereotypes,
Right.
whether it's women victims or ostracized communities or something like that. So those are
Right.
two things I found really beautiful.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's what we feel. It's not just that, it's the ripple effect, right? That's what really matters. I can see people from Bangladesh, and there's someone from Bhutan. It's so nice to see so many of you. And you can feel free to connect with me if you want to know more about how you can be associated with Planeterra, if you have any trouble joining the network. It's great. I can see someone from Gujarat. We have some great partners in Gujarat also who are working with tribal population, and in Gujarat, we have excursions. So it's great. I can see Karma, Tashitele Karma. Thank you. Okay, she's also there. So we have people from across. So nice to see all of you to have joined. So it's great, because you guys should thanks to Asian Adventures for getting us here and kind of talking about it, because there are some great practices happening. There are great ways to kind of promote sustainable tourism, and it's like Gaurav, as simple as going back to our root, pattal mein se khana hai, as simple as that, eating out of those leaf plates. So, and breaking stereotype ki ladkiyon auraton ko to driving nahi aati. Whenever I go, everyone thinks they have helped me parking. They have helped me park my car, and I'll be like, I didn't ask you for help. Maybe someone else is asking. So these notions, I'm like, sab aa jao mere ki help karne. So so these kind of it helps break stereotypes. So we're really, really thankful to Asian Adventures to kind of give this opportunity, because so many of you have joined from so many locations and have liked it. We have partners in Sri Lanka. Feel free to connect with us. We'll be really happy to talk more if some of you want to connect from Sri Lanka, Bhutan. We're very happy to know more about you guys also, because unfortunately today I couldn't see any of you. You could only hear me. So that's how it goes. But I'm happy to connect with you. I've shared my email ID. You can reach out to Asian Adventures. You guys
There's just one quick question that has come up now.
Yeah.
Do you think domestic tourists have an interest in community-based tourism?
Absolutely. And this is something we learned during the pandemic. I don't know how many of you, there were people traveling, and I saw a trend. Indian travelers wanting sustainable tourism is what I saw during the pandemic, because it's amazing, because it was more personalized, it was safety first, so the protocols were there. You knew what was being cooked in the kitchen. You could the safety of your family was guaranteed. The rooms were sanitized. So there is a lot of potential, and I'm currently located in Himachal, and I have so many great things over here, and they're only domestic travelers I'm seeing. People are traveling, they are looking at homestays, and I have a lot of people going into homestays these days, because it's more personal, and people realized during the pandemic ki, you realize all this while we were thinking grass is greener on the other side, but jab choice ही नहीं मिली, बाहर नहीं जा पाए, तो इधर ही घूमना था, and then everyone realized, oh my god, like we have so much going on over here. So there is the potential. I think is because of pandemic, people got in touch with India more, got in touch with their roots. They have traveled locally. They have really gone into homestays that people are traveling. So there are homestay experience by people like Map on Max, Bakri Chop, and great smaller ones, and luxury options are available. And people are doing so. If someone wants luxury, you are getting luxury homestay experience. But if you want a rustic rural one, you have those nomadic ones by Bakri Chop and Not on Map kind of people. So they are all our partners, in fact. So there is. So don't lose hope. It is there. It is booming in India right now because of the pandemic. I like to say some positive about the pandemic. Yeah.
Great. You're on mute, Iqbal.
So what I was saying is we are supporting many homestays and also running our own small lodges up in the hills. And
Right.
They all are almost back to back full with local tourists.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Doing quite well.
That's what. So it's doing well, and there's a lot of scope for growing and learning. So if you connect on networks like these, you can get so much from Asian Adventures experience or some other organization doing great work. So it's a great one to connect and learn. The global tourism enterprise. We'll be happy to have you guys there. Yeah.
Great. So thank you, Priyanka, and thank you, everyone. We will be back with a very interesting new webinar very soon, and will be announced. And you all will get emailers and information about that webinar. And all the people will also get the replay link of this webinar who missed some part of this webinar. So within 24 hours, you will get the replay link. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great evening. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.